Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. It's been a beautiful morning up here in Gilmer County, and we're at the Gilmer County Library. It's National Library Week, and our next segment here, we're going to be talking about getting Firewise, and do you know what a Firewise community is? Now, before we get started, yes, I have Smokey the Bear here. Do I have to give it back? I'm going to have to give it back, right? Yeah, I guess so. But I do have Smokey the Bear, and our friend is 75 years old this year, and we all know him, right? Everybody here. So we get it correctly. Now, I do know the young lady at the very end, but I'm going to let her introduce herself, and we're going to start all the way down here, and everybody's going to introduce themselves, and we're going to discuss Firewise. So go ahead.
Yep. Good morning. I'm Carlene Ferguson, Gilmer County Post 2 Commissioner.
And I'm Frank Riley, Executive Director of the Chestatee Chattahoochee RC&D Council.
Mike Davis, I'm the Fire Management Officer for the Chattahoochee-Oconee National Forest here in Georgia with the U.S. Forest Service.
Anthony English, I'm a Wildland Urban Interface Specialist for the Georgia Forestry Commission, work out of the Habersham County office.
Good morning. I'm Mary Ellen Cates. I'm the Firewise Liaison for Gilmer County and for Rivers Edge Homeowners Association.
All right, let's get started. And what I want to do is anybody take the question, and you can add on as your answer. First of all, let's get started with the people out there that are wondering what we're talking about when we bring up Firewise. What are we talking about, and what do they need to know at home?
Firewise is a it's actually an international program that's sponsored by the National Fire Protection Association based in Denver, Colorado. They administer the Firewise program for the whole United States and overseas. And Firewise is a program of wildfire safety around homes, businesses, farms. It's just common sense things you have to do to reduce the fuel around your home so you can reduce the risk of a wildfire sneaking up on you or burning your house.
All right, tell us a little bit about wildfires. How does a wildfire start? What are some of the ways that it starts a wildfire?
Well, in Georgia, we have a number of things that cause wildfires. They're mostly human caused, and escape debris burns are our number one cause of wildfires here in the state. We also have things that happen during dry periods that could include people dumping ashes out of fireplaces to structure fires that get out into the woods, car fires that are on the side of the highway that get into the woods, down power lines from high wind events. So there's numerous causes, but escape debris burns are still our number one cause here in the state.
Something else I want to bring up, because a lot of people, you hear a controlled burn. Tell us what a controlled burn is, because a lot of times we'll see smoke in North Georgia and we'll hear, hey, this is a controlled burn. Tell us what that is and how does that work, and how do you determine how many acres are going to burn?
So a controlled burn, we like to use the word prescribed burn as more terminology, like a doctor can prescribe medication to treat an illness or symptoms of an illness. We can use fire to treat symptoms in the forest for a number of kind of beneficial reasons, whether it be to reduce hazardous fuels or to improve wildlife habitat by providing for more grazing vegetation or better bedding areas, or even to reduce the hardwood competition in like a pine stand. So prescribed burn, we use that as a tool because fire is and always will be a natural part of our environment. So we like to have a little bit of control on that because of the wildland urban interface that we interact with now that we've moved into. Like I said, it's not a case of if a wildfire will happen, it's a case of when. So we like to use that controlled or prescribed burn. And the acreage really just depends on the landowner or the property that we're looking at. We go through a long process of evaluation when we look at these prescribed burns. We look at soil conditions or vegetation conditions and things like that. So it really is dependent on that property itself.
We talk about Firewise, but we're talking about there's a such thing as a Firewise communities. What is that? How do you become a Firewise community, and what's that about? And how many of those across the nation do we have?
to become a Firewise community, first you have to have interest in the neighborhood on reducing the risk of wildfire, and then you form a committee, do a work day or educational day about Firewise for all the homeowners, and then you write a plan, and we help write the plans about what we plan to do to reduce the risk of wildfire in this community. There's 108 in Georgia recognized Firewise communities. There's, I think it's around 1,400 nationally of Firewise communities over the nation. Georgia is 5th in the nation and 1st in the South in the Firewise communities.
And so let me ask you a question. How did you get involved in this and trying to become a Firewise community here in Gilmer County?
Well, in 2016 is when my husband and I decided to move up here full time, and I was sitting out on our deck looking at our beautiful view of Rich Mountain, but you couldn't see Rich Mountain because 2016 is when the Gatlinburg fire and Pigeon Ford and Rough Ridge all caught on fire. So I got very concerned, and we went down to Lowe's to do some shopping, and they had big posters up about where the fire was, how it was progressing, and it looked like it was headed our way. So I got scared. And we already had a little bit of a Firewise community, but at that point I had gone back on the board of directors for the homeowners. And I told my husband, I said, we got to get involved in Firewise. This is serious. And fortunately, Charlie Parrish was also on the board of directors with me. And I set up a meeting with Mike and Frank and Charlie. And Charlie's reaction was, that's a no-brainer. Yes, I think Gilmer County needs to become Firewise. And also, I'm friends with Herman Clark, who has been affiliated with the county as an attorney for many, many years. And Herman he's helping us push it with different groups within Gilmer. And then we got very fortunate with Miss Ferguson being one of the Gilmer commissioners. She right off took to it. And she had us come to her business and put a presentation out to her group. And she's been very helpful in helping us spread the word. And we appreciate you helping us spread the word as well.
Well, you know, we all grew up with, I'm 75 years old, so I'm going to take a chance that we've all grown up with Smokey the Bear here. Okay, just taking a chance. But I think in North Georgia, just one more thing I like to cover here. In North Georgia, I think we got a wake-up call a couple years ago when that fire was seemed to be unstoppable, to where we even brought in people from California and all over. Both of you guys here, after that, do you see more interest in people in North Georgia, see more interest in becoming a Firewise community and people paying more attention to it?
I believe we do. Yeah, I think that raised a lot of awareness, just especially, you know, in 2016 when we had that bad fire season. I mean, you know, people down in Atlanta were, you know, getting smoke from the fire, so that made the news. It made, you know, awareness, you know, was really on the rise. So that, you know, the Firewise program, I think the proof is kind of is evident. The neighboring counties to Gilmer County, Fannin County, Towns County, well, with the exception of Towns County, average 10+ wildfires per year. Towns County has the highest concentration of Firewise communities in the state with 20 Firewise. Gilmer County has 4. Now it is on the rise, but Towns County averages 3 wildfires per year. So I think the proof, you know, is kind of there. It's all about education. That's, you know, what we're trying to do today. So just trying to get that word out.
So in the Firewise community, I was looking at some of the information. You go over the accelerants. I mean, you learn what are accelerants, what will what I call a matchstick one thing right off to another, because I remember some of the people I met from California when they were out, they were talking about the wildfires out there, that the tops of the pines were like matchsticks that just kept igniting. But in our area, the Firewise community program has all that laid out of what are some of the accelerants and things like that.
That's correct. What we do is when we organize the community, we have what we call chipper days, where we bring a chipper in, people bring the brush and the debris out to this curb, we chip it up and haul it off. And what we're trying to do is reduce the leaves under your deck, around the base of your home, off the gutter, out of the gutters, on the roof, just something where a spark or an ember won't start a fire. And if you reduce the fuel around the base of the house, if your neighbor lights a leaf pile and it gets out and it won't burn up to your house, it'll stop. Or you can defend it. We create defensible space around these homes where we reduce the fuel where the fire department has a chance to get in there and attack the fire and protect your home.
Don't you have an event coming up here at the library soon? You want to highlight that before we go? And also, I'd like to let people know how to get more information about this. So what do we have coming up here at the library?
We have an event on May the 4th at 10:30. We're going to have a birthday party for Smokey the Bear. It's called Fire in the Mountains. And Anthony, who is the wildland urban specialist, has a video, I think it's about 12 minutes, that he's going to show that'll really give the people information on what they can do so their home, the title of the video is Your Home Can Survive a Wildfire. It's a great video. It's very inspirational. And we'll have the video, we'll have Anthony for questions, and we'll have the smoky cake, and we'll have coffee. So we really hope everyone will come out. The only thing we ask is that they RSVP by April the 28th so we know how much cake to get. And also they can call the library and get on the list, and then if they come to our presentation, we have more handouts that we can give them on how they can put Firewise in their own community.
Okay, folks, we'll be putting that out on our social media, and that's May 4th, 2019 at the library at 10:30. There's going to be a video, and they will be here to answer questions and open to the public. Everybody come up and join them on May 4th at 10:30 here at the Gilmer County Library. What we wanted to do this morning is just highlight the Firewise community, and how are we doing as far as Gilmer County becoming, how many did you say communities, Firewise communities in Gilmer County?
We have 4 in Gilmer County.
Okay.
So it's on the rise and trying to just spread the word.
Okay. Want to thank Gilmer County Representative this morning, Carleen Ferguson, Post Commissioner, and just to show that the Gilmer County supports this. Thank you all for coming out. I appreciate you very much. This is some great information. And if you want to learn more about Firewise communities and what's coming up here at the Gilmer County Library, you can go to our YouTube channel, FYN TV, Fetch Your News, and you will find this video and you can share it with your friends. And is there a website people can go to get information? What would you recommend? And if somebody was saying, hey, I'd like to get a little deeper on this, more information, where do they go?
The website will be firewise.org, and you can get a lot more information about it, kind of see, what you can do. There are more resources available there. And then just in Georgia, gatrees.org, and you can find more information.
Appreciate it, folks. When we come back, don't forget we're going to take a tour of the Gilmer County Library, and we've got a full tour that we're taking with the librarian, Heath Lee, and also the basement is complete, and you're going to get to see that first right here. So we'll be back right after these messages.